What's up, everybody? Real Trader Joe here, and welcome to the first episode of the 5-Minute Bit, where I do my damnedest to give you guys an option tip that is useful that you can use today in 5 minutes or less. Quick disclaimer, this is going to be a bit of an intermediate tip, and I'm hoping that it sticks with some of you, but if you're brand new to options, it may not make a whole lot of sense. That's totally alright. We're going to have more 5-minute bits that cover anywhere from the basics to really advanced stuff. And I'm hoping it'll just kind of be like a martial art. It won't make sense at first, but the more we do it, the more sense it will make. So without further ado, let's get started. So defending a trade. Those trades are going to happen. You're going to have to defend them. It's just a fact of life. If you're in the markets, especially in short options, it's going to happen. But there are ways we can deal with that. So I have a Strangle here with one roll, one defense. It's a perfect example of how to defend a trade and stay on the fight, even when you're on the ropes. I put a Strangle on an Enphase for about 310, the 80-125 on 1122, and if we just go to a quick chart and we go to 1122, right about here, high of 101, low of 98, the 80-125, totally reasonable, 80 being down here, 125 being up here, totally fine to expect that with all that sideways action and maybe a little rise that Enphase would stay where it was, but it didn't. The end of year Santa Claus rally happened, and I got face punched with 1227 reaching a high of about 138.35, well past the 125 short strike. And I actually adjusted the trade on 1219, so I'd had enough a few days before that, hitting a high of 136. Pretty necessary defense, and one that I don't think anybody would argue with, but that's why we defend trades. If we had actually kept this trade on, it would have worked out, but of course we defend because we don't know what's going to happen. So how did I actually defend the trade? Well, if you're a short premium trader like I am, one of the ways you can defend a trade is to roll out in time, which is what I did. If you see here, we're at the February cycle currently, which has 38 days to go. If I roll out in time to the March cycle, which has 66 days, I'm adding time to the trade, and I represent that time as additional extrinsic value, which I pick up in the form of a 344 credit. If I don't change anything else, if I just close my current trade down and open up the 105, 145 in the March cycle, I pick up $3.44. The interesting part about that is now I can manipulate the strikes and maybe pick up less credit, but end up with something like this, a rebalance trade, the 90-140, which is exactly what I did in our previous scenario. I had the 80-125, the trade went against me, and then I rolled the 80-125. I closed my existing 80-125, reopened that same 80-125 in a deeper cycle with more time, and then adjusted the strikes. So I had the 80-125, collected more than $1.03 to roll that 80-125 out, and then adjusted the strikes and ended up with a 103 credit. So you might be saying to me, okay, Joey, I know how to roll, I know how you did it in the platform, but what does that actually do for me? Well, just think about the value of being short premium, right? As short premium sellers, we're obligating ourselves to buy and sell other people's stock, and so like an insurance company for your car, we're compensated with every month that happens or as time passes. So we're compensated for rolling out in time, and we can use that compensation to adjust the trade and make that trade work for us. If we have the 80-125 on, we're actually short 45 shares, but because we were able to adjust it, we are now long 6. Our absolute exposure has decreased, and we've given ourselves another opportunity to take another stab at the trade. And lastly, guys, if the concept of rolling does feel daunting, it's because it is daunting. Typically, when you're rolling trades, it's because they're not going in your favor, as evidenced here. I mean, we're down $422 on the order chain, but you can see, like, with the actual new position, we're up 641, but as I mentioned, we were down about 1,000, so, our net loss here is still about 422. As Tom Sosnoff likes to say, your team's getting crushed, but you have better seats. Not an ideal situation, but at least one that keeps the dream alive. So if it feels daunting, it's because it is. There aren't any hard and fast rules for application, and you may find yourself doing any, all, or none of the strategies discussed in this video, and there are trades where any, all, or none of the strategies are appropriate. So just bear that in mind, and I'll be here along the way. If you learned something useful, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.